The latest states David Moyes is not in imminent danger of being sacked by West Ham United. This is from TalkSport this afternoon, and it goes on to say, however, it is unlikely at this stage that Scott will be offered a new managerial contract when his current deal expires. Now let's deal with the first part, which is he's not going to get sacked. Well, that's unsurprising, isn't it? When we got beat by Brentford on Saturday, I never expected the board to pull the trigger on David Moyes. As a percentage, it was literally at zero. I would have been gobsmacked had they sacked David Moyes. So that news, I mean, I don't even think it's news. It is that unsurprising. I'm not even sure it's newsworthy per se. But what's more disappointing is that the club are doing all this leaking stuff already. We're at the start of November. It's still early on in the season. But this is what David Sullivan gets. For years, since he arrived at West Ham, David Sullivan has used the media to his advantage when he needs to. Whether it's to leak stuff regarding the manager, we're seeing it. We've seen it at the start of the season when we had poor form. We're seeing it again now. To leak these stories, whether it be transfer rumours, anything that Sullivan wanted out there, Sullivan has always used the media to his advantage. He's got his favourite journalists. We know one, Jim White at TalkSport. So he's got his links, David Sullivan. He uses them well. But it's a two-way thing. And this is where the shoe's on the other foot a little bit. Now, this may benefit Sullivan. Maybe Sullivan wants to put this message out there and almost threaten David Moyes, because that's what it comes across as to me. It comes across as a threat. It's not just that one. There's other stories as well, but there's a lot. I've been in Scotland last week, and then I had the gathering at the weekend. So that's why I've been sort of away for a few days. So there's a lot for me to get through. So I'm tackling the latest today, and then we'll deal with more tomorrow when I do the Olympiacos preview with Gonzo as well. But these are like threats about David Moyes. Basically say, buck up or you're off. But they're almost empty, because it happens every single time. We had it with David Moyes last. This is nothing new to David Moyes. Never mind me and you as West Ham fans. This is nothing new to David Moyes as manager. Moyes had this last season, all season. 3 games to save your job. 3 games, 5 games, whatever the number was. It was usually 3. 3's the magic number. But the goalposts change. You've got 3 games, we'd lose 3. Well, one was, the Carabao Cup. We mean 3 league games. And then we'd get a win. It would reset the counter and it would continue. And then eventually, before you know it, it's the end of the season. Oh, well, might as well just keep him kind of thing. We're already at that point. It's the start of November, and we're already at the point where I feel that Sullivan is threatening David Moyes via the media. But this is what Sullivan gets, because for years he's used it to the advantage. But it's a two-way thing. At times like this, the journalists will want information out of David Sullivan. At times Sullivan will want to use them when it's probably not that newsworthy. But when Moyes is the big topic, when West Ham is the big topic, and it's not the biggest one at the minute, Man United and Ten Hag is. But there's pressure on David Moyes as we're in bad form at the minute. West Ham are a big club. We have a big fan base. So TalkSport and the likes want the content to get people, to get the traffic. And we are no different. We're no different. I understand this is a little bit hypocritical given what we do at Hammers Chat. I can promise you, though, I'm not emailing David Sullivan for it. McGonzo sometimes does. Ages ago. Not so much anymore, I don't think. If he does, he doesn't tell me. But I'm not emailing David Sullivan to get the content. I'm piggybacking off TalkSport, if you like. My point is, it's a two-way street. So at times like this, they're going to be asking David Sullivan the questions about the future of David Moyes and expecting a response. And he doesn't have to reply. He doesn't have to give it. However, if he wishes to maintain these contacts, to maintain these avenues of leaking stuff out via the media, then he's probably got to play ball a little bit. Like I said, it's a two-way thing. They benefit, they get the content. He benefits. He can leak whatever he wants, whenever he wants, to his preferred people in the media. So this news being leaked isn't really a surprise. I just find it infuriating. I do not like it. Now, there is a second part to that, which is perhaps a little bit more interesting. By the way, what it takes for David Moyes to get sacked, I don't know. I think we'd have to lose a lot of games in a row for the trigger to be pulled. Might it be different with Tim Steidten at the club now, because obviously he wasn't here last season? Well, on one hand, you'd like to think so. But the articles over the last few days is exactly the same thing we had last season with David Sullivan. And we had it under Slaven Bilic, under Manuel Pellegrini, under Sam Allardyce. No matter who the manager is, they've gone through what David Moyes is going through. And like I said, Moyes went through it himself last season, and he's going through it again. So this is nothing new to David Moyes. And it's nothing new from West Ham or David Sullivan. So here we are with the same old threats via the media. Now the second part is a bit more, I say, interesting. The terminology sort of coincides with another article, which I'll get onto in a second. Before I do, what is perhaps more surprising is me wearing a Christmas jumper. But not only wearing a Christmas jumper, wearing it in November. The reason for that is because I need to promote it. At the minute, we've got an offer on this exact jumper. This is the Hammers Chat Christmas jumper for 2023. And if you fancy grabbing one, now's the time to do it. Because at the minute, they're 30 quid. Patrons can receive a discount on that as well, depending on which tier you subscribe to. And on Friday night, they go up to £35. So if you pre-order your Christmas jumper this week, you will save a £5. From next week onwards, it will be £35. The design's here and forever blowing bubbles in the shape of a Christmas tree, with some festive additions to the jumper as well. If you bought the Christmas jumper last year with a different design, you can still grab that if you want to. This is a better quality. I say a better quality, it should be. I asked the manufacturer, can we have a better quality one? They said, this is the best one we've got. Do you want it? I said, yes, we'll have that one, please. So that's why it's £5 more expensive, because it costs us £5 more per jumper. Simple as that, really. We haven't put the prices up to make more money. It's our costs. So anyway, link to pre-order your Christmas jumper is in the description and the pinned comments. I know you're thinking, it's the start of November. We don't have the money to go buy loads of jumpers, so that's why we do pre-sales. You pay, we use the cash that you've just given us to go and buy the jumpers and get them sent out to you. But they'll be with you by, at the very, very latest, middle of December. Hopefully earlier. We'll get them ordered ASAP. Friday night I'll be sending off the big order to the manufacturers, and we'll get them. So there you go. Christmas jumper. hammerstrapstore.com, link in the description, pin comments. Now the second part, and this is the more interesting terminology. It's unlikely at this stage that Scott will be offered a new managerial contract. Now that's interesting because other sources, the Daily Mail are running with a story that David Moyes might be offered a new job at West Ham upstairs. So non-managerial, in the boardroom, whatever. This is the thing, I don't even know what job it would be. Do you know when Mark Noble would be offered a job? I'd say, oh, right, is he going to be director of football? Is he going to be like the head of the academy? So you could almost guess what Mark Noble's job was going to be. And I think we're not far off it. He's sporting director, but it feels like he's in charge of the academy. I think that's what most people thought Mark Noble would eventually do. But with David Moyes, I'm struggling to think what he would do if he was to move upstairs. And it would feel like almost an offer out of appreciation for what he's done, but also to avoid making a difficult call. Well, we've offered him a deal, it's just not a manager's one anymore, his contract is expiring, so we'll just offer him this. Now the Daily Mail also report UEFA are considering offering him a job. Now I believe that one, UEFA have used him previously as, I can't remember the job title, what is it, technical advisor, something like that is a job title, where Moyes has been employed by UEFA to attend the major tournaments and essentially scout. That's what he does. Moyes goes there, as well as other experienced people in the game at the top level, and to report back to UEFA and write scouting reports on whether it be new tactics, the way the set pieces are working, etc, etc. I remember Moyes commenting on it previously when he was out of work and he was doing it for UEFA, and he was talking about the inverted wingers, essentially left-footed wingers playing on the right wing. That was sort of the thing that Moyes was sort of commenting on for UEFA. So I could see UEFA offering him a position. You know, he's 60 years old. He's been a Premier League manager for the majority of his managerial career. He's got the experience. So I could see that one. But with us, I'm not sure what position he could possibly have that would benefit the club long term. So in regards to that rumour, I find it difficult to believe, but the terminology from TalkSport lines up with that report from a completely different journalist, which is saying that West Ham may offer him a position upstairs, and TalkSport is saying a managerial contract, which is very specific. They don't tend to say that. They just tend to say that he wouldn't be offered a new contract. You don't really have to explain it's a manager's contract. That's just an assumption. I think it's a fair assumption, but to put that terminology in, I would assume that they've got that terminology from whoever they've contacted at West Ham. Probably David Sullivan. That's my opinion. My guess would be it's David Sullivan they've spoken to. And perhaps Sullivan has said, well, we might not give him a new managerial contract, which is a very strange thing to state. Instead of just saying we just won't give him a new deal, we won't renew his contract. So I found that different, if you like. But again, I don't like this. You know, at this stage, they're unlikely to give him a new deal. Well, what's the point? If you've decided now you're not going to give him a new deal, what's the point of keeping him all this time? Now, this isn't my opinion per se in regards to whether I want to get him a new deal and don't want to get him a new deal. It's how the club go about managing it. It's how the club are dealing with David Moyes. And I've always had this phrase I've used for managers before Moyes, and I'll use them in the future, and I'll use them for managers of other clubs. Back him or sack him. I hate managers just in limbo. And that's what David Moyes is at the minute. It's sort of, well, we're probably not going to give you a new deal, but we're not going to pay you off. So you've got to see out your contract. You're going to have to do the job for the rest of the season. But at the end of it, we're probably just going to let you go. And I just think, what a horrible set of circumstances to work under. Now, Moyes has shown that he will work under it and he will do the job to the best of his ability. I don't expect Moyes to down tools or anything. That's what I'm trying to say. Badly, but that's what I'm trying to say. So it probably won't mean much to him. Moyes will probably brush this one off. But it's the start of November. It's still early enough in the season. We're getting to the third of the way through the season kind of stage. But still early. And I just hope the club haven't decided anything at this minute. And like I said, this does not reflect whether or not I want Moyes to stay. This is about the club's mentality. Because hypothetically, now whether you believe this could happen or not, put that to one side for a minute and just do your best to join me in this make-believe world for the next minute. Hypothetically, if we were to finish 12th in the league, but we won the FA Cup or the Europa League, and I use those two in particular for a reason, because I think the Carabao Cup might be on a similar par with the Conference League. I mean, the prize for winning the Carabao Cup is to enter the Conference League. But the FA Cup and the Europa League are considered more prestigious than the Conference League. What if we won one? What if the club decided now we're going to get rid of him at the end of the season and we were to go on and do okay in the league but win one of those two trophies? Now, I know you might scoff and think, no chance. That's fine. That's your opinion. We've got a chance. Moyes takes the cup seriously, right? We've got a chance of winning. We have a good squad. We're just not performing to the best of our ability at the minute. We've got good players. But let's, like I said, make believe will. What happens if we won one of those trophies? Take your pick. FA Cup, Europa League, whichever one. Are they really going to dismiss the manager who's just won that? Because I don't believe it. And the reason I don't believe it is because last season we were in a relegation battle for 95% of that league campaign. It wasn't until 3 or 4 games to go we were safe. I'm not even sure it was that actually. Mathematically, it's probably about 3 games to go. But anyway, we were in a relegation battle for the large majority of last season. And we won the Conference League. And that was enough to keep David Moyes. Winning the Conference League and being in a relegation battle was enough for Moyes to retain his job. So if that's enough, then surely mid-table in the Premier League and winning the Europa League would be enough for Moyes to retain his position. I know the big difference, which is we didn't offer him a new deal in the summer. We just continued with what we had. And whereas next summer we'd have to offer him a new deal for him to continue his job. But I just think it would be silly of the club to decide now. They should be waiting until the end of the season. They should be making arrangements. They should be coming up with a list of people to replace David Moyes. But I just think if you've already decided to get rid of him, if you've decided regardless of what Moyes does, even if he wins the Europa League, he's gone. Then part of me thinks we'll just get rid of him now. If you've decided you want to not sack him, let him see out, because this is the terminology, isn't it? The board used to brag, we don't sack managers. Well, no, you let them run their contracts out. You don't give them a new one. So while you don't sack them, you don't keep them either. So the terminology is right. It's a bit like when Gold and Sullivan used to say, we don't get paid by West Ham, we don't take a salary. Correct, they didn't, but they gave the club money and charged interest on it and got paid that way. So no, they didn't take a wage, but they were still earning money from the club, just in a different way. But it was, hello, look over here. We don't take a wage from West Ham, but ignore this bit where we're getting paid millions in interest rates. So not sacking someone fair. True, obviously not true anymore. They've sacked managers now, but that's what they used to say. And this is where we're at with Moyes. If you've already decided you're not going to keep him, then get rid of him and get the next guy in, if possible. Of course, there is that scenario which they know who they want next summer and they can't get him till the end of the season. If that's the case, fair. But there is also the scenario they could go get that manager now. And if you know who you're going to want to replace Moyes, surely it's better to bring him in now so he can work with the squad ahead of the summer transfer window rather than coming in blind at the end of the season. But while like I said, I didn't expect them to sack Moyes. I think we could lose on Thursday. Moyes still won't get sacked. I'm pretty confident on it as well. I could be wrong. I'm quite confident they wouldn't sack him. Even if we got beat by Forest, this time next week we lost against Olympiacos and Forest, I'm still not sure they'd sack him. I just can't convince myself they'll do it. I really can't. I think you'd see more of this. I think you'd see more aggressive, a bigger and more aggressive media campaign from West Ham as to why Moyes should get sacked rather than actually sacking him. And it's almost like they need trial by mainstream media before they decide anything. Let's put this out there and see what the fans think, and then let's see what the mainstream media think. Because, well, I know you and I may not tune in to certain people and listen to them and value their opinions because they don't watch West Ham every single week. And that's evident sometimes. Last Sunday we got beat by Everton, and after the game, Andy Cole, why are they not playing Danny Ings? Why is he not playing Ings more? I think, hang on, you can just tell you don't watch West Ham, and that's fine. Why would he watch West Ham all the time? But then don't comment on it, kind of thing. But I've always had this feeling that Sullivan almost needs approval by mainstream media before he does a big decision like sacking a manager. Why, I don't know, but it gets ugly very quickly under the guidance, under the stewardship of David Sullivan. This can get really ugly, and it's got ugly. It got ugly for Moyes last season, and I think you'll see a more aggressive media campaign from the club as to why David Moyes should get sacked before they make any decision. That's my expectation anyway. Anyway, there you go. That's the latest from TalkSport. Not from me, not from my emails to or from David Sullivan. They don't exist. But that's the latest from TalkSport. The Moyes shall not be sacked anytime soon. However, he's unlikely to get a new deal at the end of the season. Perhaps unsurprising. But anyway, I'm going to disappear now. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm recording the Olympiacos preview with Gonzo as well tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. I like doing a preview. If you enjoyed this video, though, please do drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you're around here. Also, please get involved in the comment section. If you've got any thoughts on this topic, please get it in the comment section. I'll be back to have a little chit chat with you later on in the evening as well. Like I said, if you fancy a Christmas jumper, get it now. hammerschatstore.com, link in the description and pinned comments. You order it before Friday. Say 5 PM Friday will be the cut-off point. You order it before 5 PM on Friday, you save a £5, and if you're a patron, use your discount code and you'll save even more. So Addicts will save a £5, then a further £9. So Addicts save 14 quid. There you go. Get it ordered up.